Hello, and welcome back, or welcome to the Yogi Roth Show. Fired up for today, because today is a short episode. It's a quick episode, but it's an important episode because it is the beginning of not just college football season, but the beginning of season 5 on this podcast. And I am so stoked for this podcast, and specifically season 5, because number one, that's today, and all we can do is be where our feet are. But two, the focus, as you'll see in the subheader, is my favorite phrase: how great is ball? And that's right, all of this season on this podcast can have an incredible focus on college football. And we know college football is dramatically celebrated, it's dramatically critiqued, and it can often be forgotten that those playing, coaching, or living this game 24/7 are in fact human. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to unearth that humanity inside the headset, underneath the helmet, talk to these student athletes, coaches, people who are in and around the game, and try to dive deep and hopefully pull out some insights that make us lean in and say, whoa, I didn't think about the game that way. I'm your host, Yogi Roth, if you didn't know it already. And all season long, this podcast will be brought to you by Kona Red. And Kona Red, if you haven't done it, go do it right now. Go get some Kona Red or visit KonaRed.com. It's awesome coffee. And if you know me by now, you know that I'm a fan of coffee. I'm a fan of Kona Red for a bunch of reasons. And at the beginning, I think coffee is a catalyst to conversation. You sit down over a cup of coffee, you have a great convo, you talk about different things, you go in places maybe you weren't prepared for, and Kona Red does that. If you don't know, they source some of the rarest, most sought-after coffee on planet Earth. It's grown in Hawaii. I love it. It's nutrient-rich, and they've got everything. They got premium coffee beans. They got cold brew. They got it in cans now, and coaches and athletes are using that all over college football and the NFL. They even have a Hawaiian Cascara juice. It's big time. So check out KonaRed.com. Get it at Vons, Albertsons, Pavilions, Ralph's, Bristol Farms, Sprouts, and more. Okay, so back to this very short opening podcast of Season 5. If you have followed me at all on social media, you know this summer was epic. I got to, of course, do Elite 11, be around some of the top quarterbacks in the country. They were amazing. We taught emotional intelligence. You can read about that in the newsletter. If you don't have the newsletter yet, just go to yogiroth.com, subscribe to it, kind of give you some insights of what we taught these young quarterbacks, the next generation of Heisman Trophy winners, future presidents, just rock star human beings. It was awesome. But much more importantly, I got married. I got married in Bali, Indonesia, to the love of my life, Amy. And I want to, for the first time ever, invite and welcome Amy to this podcast. Amy, welcome to the show. Oh, yeah. This is a surprise. She didn't even know I was going to ask her to come on. But it's going to be quick. We're going to be brief. I know you don't like doing a lot of this. But sum up, if you can, for the listeners, because they did get taken into our life via at least Instagram. Sum up what Bali was like for you and me as we got married.
Well, Bali was magical. It was just really fun to have all our friends, closest friends and family. And, you know, we all got to have an adventure together. And how often is it that you can do something like that with like 60 of your closest family and friends? So I think we all came back from the trip on a high, feeling like, oh, we experienced something beautiful, not just for our wedding, but with each other. Like everybody got to know each other, and the two families came together. And so, yeah, it was magical.
It really was magical. And if you don't know it, Amy and I met on a plane. It was hilarious. And you can hear her dog Monkey, our dog Monkey now, I guess is the proper way to say it, right? Exactly. And Amy, if you don't know it, she has a pet product company called Kindtail, which is inspiring. It's creative. It's amazing. Check it out online, kindtail.com. But we met, really, and then it's uncomfortable why I'm bringing you on this, but we met because of college football. I happened to be at Stanford for spring practice a couple years ago. One of the coaches, Mike Bloomgren, now the head coach at Rice, he said, Yogi, stick around for an extra night. Let's go have dinner. Let's have a glass of wine. Let's talk about life. I did that and happened to sit next to you the very next day. So kind of, we have to thank college football for how we came together.
Yeah.
Agree with that?
Totally. Everything's around college football.
Well, in some weird way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so one quick story for our listeners before we let you go here. This subheader of this podcast, and by the way, Amy did the graphic. Thank you very much, my love. But the subheader is how great is ball? The hashtag for our wedding was how great is Bali? Little play on words there, no pun intended. And instead of throwing flowers at our wedding, like you see that a lot at weddings, right? The bride throws the flowers and somebody catches it and they're going to get married next, etc. You threw a football. Football is always going to be part of our world, it sounds like. Was that fun? Was that awkward? Were you, like, you look back on that and you're like, why did I throw a football instead of flowers?
I think we do things differently. And so, we just find what's right for us. And if it's not flowers, it could be a football or it could be like something else. But I guess all it matters is that it's our thing and that we do it our way. So yeah, that was cool.
And she ripped the spiral, by the way. You throw better than some backup quarterbacks in the Pac-12 conference, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, my wife's a rock star athlete. All right, that's Amy. Amy, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. You listened to all the episodes. I hope that we continue to elevate and continue to make you a subscriber. Maybe somebody who leaves a review, appreciates and shares this on your social platforms. Any words of wisdom as we enter season 5?
I don't know. Your tip, be where your feet are.
I like it. All right, that's Amy Kim. Check her out. Check out her company, Kind Tail. If you love dogs, I love dogs. You love dogs now. People should check it out. I think it's genius, by the way.
Thank you, baby.
You got it. You got it. And if you love college football, this is the place to be. The Yogi Roth Show, How Great is Ball? Season 5 coming to you hard and fast. I'm starting a training camp tour. I'll be all over the Pac-12 footprint over the next month. And we've got incredible conversations coming your way from Hall of Famers, Super Bowl winners, college football champions, Heisman Trophy winners, and some names that maybe you never heard of, but were huge recruits and didn't necessarily fulfill the expectation they had when they got to college. But all in all, we are going to unearth some great stories in college football. You know how we end this one, Amy? The only limits that we have in life are the ones we set ourselves. How great is ball? How great was Bali? I hope to be back there soon. But either way, I'm going to be right here all season long. Check us out at yogiroth.com/podcast or follow me on social at Yogi Roth for new episodes as we get rolling. College football season right around